Hello, this is Amy Zawi with the Jerusalem Connection special report for October 25th. We are all still lamenting, digesting, and reeling from the tragic loss of life on October 7th. Entire communities gone in a swoop. We have horror stories coming out from the professionals in Israel, forensic realities that we can hardly even comprehend, and that are being questioned by the broader narrative. But make no mistake, the news reports of the horror coming out of Israel are true, and they are from extremely credible and professional organizations. Meanwhile, families themselves have to post pictures of their lost loved ones. Entire families, young children, moms and dads, gone. An extended family posting their sorrow and explaining how their families were lost, but with no reason. Young people in the IDF and other military forces, older people who are helping out with their young family members, all gone. In the north, on the border with Hezbollah, in addition to the carnage in the south, we have to remember that entire communities, entire groups of people were decimated, hoping with hope that a few of them may be found alive, as widows also mourn the confirmations of the deaths of their children's fathers mourning the deaths of their beautiful daughters, communities mourning the deaths of their favorite neighbors. Young men and women with the faces of our young men and women in the West, entire families that look no different from your family, my family, or the family next door, are gone. And we are all still processing that. But the Jewish community, has particular trauma. See, these are memories that are not just from October 7th, but are from the previous century and centuries before. The black and white photos of Nazi marches and horror images are now color, real-time videos and news feeds on our phones. The same hate espoused in the 1930s and 40s is espoused today on Western college campuses and on the streets of our great cities. Public and private universities of prestige and renown are falling victim to the brainwashing of hate that has come over them from anti-Semitism. Cornell University, Columbia University, so many prestigious universities allowing anti-Semitism to live and flourish on their campuses, especially since the morning of October 7th. We cannot stand by and let that happen. We must read the news from a variety of sources and understand what is going on, and be alarmed and figure out ways to fight back. All corners of the earth are now touched by this wave of anti-Semitism. But we still have to remember the 200 hostages being held in Gaza, and we pray that they are alive and that they are well, and we pray the IDF will be able to rescue them and rescue them quickly. We need to also pray for the opposition, that folks within that opposition will come to reality, somehow meet God or Jesus in their dreams, and then be able to speak out. We must remember the words of our sages from just the last century who lived through the horror and who are still alive to share with us what happened then and give us hope for what's happening today. Israel will live to be great once again, for we know what God has promised Israel, and we are comforted in the words that God had given us thousands of years ago, but are still true and real and living today. We will be strong and courageous, and we will be strong and courageous shoulder to shoulder with our Jewish brothers and sisters, those in Israel and those abroad. But we cannot forget that means we have a responsibility. We cannot be silent, and we cannot fail to act. But you may all be wondering, how on earth do I act? How do I love the Jewish people in a way that I can offer some help, some tangible assistance? Well, you can encourage your own friends and families to know the truth and support Israel, and rejoice in when those things happen. You can also go to the ICEJ website and find a wonderful set of prayer notes, praying for specific points, many of which we already looked at, and the biblical references that you can use to meditate on in your prayer and supplication for Israel and the Jewish people worldwide. Praying for all the innocents, praying for the hostages, praying for the leadership, and praying that those, even with the most evil hearts, may somehow be cleansed and find truth. And your prayer can be part of a collective, which is so much more powerful. The ICEJ has a global prayer gathering each morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. The Philos Project has a wonderful resource on its page on how you can help the Jewish community that is in your own backyard. They offer wonderful ideas that you can engage in, and either through the Philos Project or even on your own, you can take their ideas and put them to work. If you are not aware of how to get a hold of the Jewish community in your location, the Philos Project actually has a dedicated person on their staff whom you can email, and they will help you get connected to the Jewish community that is nearest to you. You can also check our website, all of our projects. We engage in a variety of projects to help the Jewish people, but of course the IDSF is a most pressing need that we have talked about for the last 2 weeks. But you can encourage your Jewish community by engaging in any of these projects that we have in our projects tab. But in all of this, do so with prayer and do so with supplication. And all of these ways to help: global prayer, personal prayer. Also think about how you're going to reach out to your Jewish friends. This article that I found is an excellent overview of what the Jewish community needs as far as your own personal relationships to reach out and be a friend. She offers great questions that you can ask if you don't even know what to ask or what to say. I want to thank this author, Molly, for sharing this article, because it is very helpful if you don't know where to start on what to say to your Jewish friends and colleagues and neighbors. Shavua Tov. Have a great week.